you for joining us on this fun Monday night. Thanks to my guests going beyond the sports or beyond the news with John Burton tonight. Whatever, we'll just kind of mix it a little bit. 615-737+ is the number to call if you want to ask the questions. In the meantime, I'm having a lot of fun asking the questions, and I promise.
Now, have you been a guest on this show, Carrie?
I can't be the guest and the host.
Yeah, that's what you should do. You should interview yourself one night. That would be incredible.
Incredibly freaky. Is she talking to
Just switch chairs?
Is she answering the questions and answering them? That's weird.
I would watch.
Okay. I want to talk about John Burton, the wrestler.
Oh,
this is a real thing.
Yeah.
We have pictures of it. When did this happen, and why did it happen?
Oh, well, you know, right place at the right time, maybe wrong place at the wrong time, I don't know.
John, look at you.
Yeah. That was in West Newton, Pennsylvania. That's my manager, Dr. Feelbad.
Okay.
Yeah, great guy. He was also the promoter of the shows. So I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, right? Yes. I've been a wrestling fan since I was 10, right? My first wrestling hero was a guy by the name of Tony Atlas, this big, jacked up black dude. He was a bodybuilder, Mr. USA. He was, you know, he was that dude. And I was like, I want to be like him when I grow up. And he's the guy that actually, you know, encouraged me to work out and that kind of stuff. So I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, right? I was a Hulkamaniac in the 80s when Hulk Hogan and the business got big. And then later on when Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Attitude Era, and The Rock started going, you know, I became a big fan again. And then I was away from it for a little while. And then when John Cena got popular, I became a big John Cena fan, and Randy Orton and Undertaker and all that kind of stuff. So one night I'm in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I'm out at
were you doing sports at this time?
Yeah, I'm doing sports in Pittsburgh, and I was out one night and I had a John Cena t-shirt on, and this good-looking dude comes up to me. He's all tatted up, and I'm like, oh God, what's this? He's like, hey man, I see you got a John Cena t-shirt on. I'm like, yeah. He goes, you're a wrestling fan? I'm like, yeah. He goes, well, I'm a pro wrestler, and my dad owns a company just north of Pittsburgh in Butler, Pennsylvania. I'm like, he goes, you're the guy from, you know, Channel 4 News, right? I said, yeah. You're a sports guy? I said, yeah. He said, listen, we run shows every month in Butler. We'd love for you to come up and be a guest ring announcer. I said, cool. Done. So they run on Fridays, and I was, you know, I took that Friday off, and I drove up to Butler, and I met, you know, actually the guy that went up to me is, if you're a wrestling fan, you know who he is. His name's Corey Graves. He's one of the main announcers on WWE right now. Oh, wow. Yeah, on Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown. So she's looking at me, folks, like, what is he talking about? You don't follow wrestling, do you, Carrie? All right, anyway, so
it's a good story.
Well, thanks.
I'm listening.
I will continue. So I met Corey's dad, I met his whole family, and I did the guest ring announcing thing. It was a lot of fun. Just a local independent show, you know, no big names, but, you know, good wrestlers from around the area. Sure. And I got to be behind the scenes and kind of see how the sausage is made for a wrestling show. And it was fascinating. I loved it.
You got the bug.
So then Corey's dad comes up to me and he says, listen, and there was a guy I know, Bubba Snyder, who was a morning DJ in Pittsburgh, still is. He's a trained wrestler. In fact, he was a former champion at one of the local companies in Pittsburgh. And he's a bad guy. He said, I want to do a match. I want to train you to be a wrestler, and I want to put you in a match with Bubba. And we're going to do it in Monroeville, where you live, and you're going to win. I said, I'm in. So Corey and his dad trained me. And it was supposed to be a one-time thing. Okay. So we had the match all mapped out. We were good to go, no problems. 3 days before the match, Bubba sends me a text. He's like, I have to go in for emergency throat surgery. You're a DJ, so yeah. I said, I can't do the match. I'm like, what are we gonna do? So we put our heads together. We ended up, I had a match with another guy, my buddy, who's actually one of my best friends, my buddy Aaron, who was a bad guy wrestler at the time. And so we kind of milked the storyline to where I'm representing Bubba because Bubba, you're beneath him, you know, he doesn't need to wrestle you, so I'm taking his place. So we had the match.
Did you still get to win?
And I won. And the
Okay.
place went nuts.
Yay!
And we had a blast. And we had great chemistry in the ring, him and I, because we're about the same size. So I thought, you know what? Hey, I did it. I can say that's off my bucket list.
Right.
I worked a wrestling match. Crowd went great. The crowd was great. And so, but what happened was local promoters started calling me and emailing me saying, hey, we want to use you because we thought you did a pretty good job. We heard about it. So it started to become some buzz. So I go to this company in McKeesport, Pennsylvania, and I ended up starting to wrestle there. And I wrestled as myself, John Burton, but I was what's called in the industry a baby face, or a good guy, okay? So my whole gimmick, as we say in the business, I'm local sports celebrity, giving wrestling a try. I love the people of Pittsburgh. With the fans of Pittsburgh behind me, I can't lose. And my first feud was with my buddy Aaron, who wrestled by the name of Ashton Amherst.
Right.
And so he was like, "You don't belong here." This, that. We had this whole thing, and we went back and forth. And I ended up winning a mid-card title there.
So, how long did this go on?
I did it steadily for about 3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
So I ended up working for another company at the same time out in West Newton, Pennsylvania. And I wrestled. It was a total freak thing. I was actually going with my two buddies who were on the card that night. I was just along for the ride. And then my buddy Ryan calls me up and he says, "Hey, do you have your gear?" I was like, "Yeah, I just brought it just in case." He said, "Can you work a match tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." He's like, "Yeah, we had somebody call off sick." So I ended up working a match with another guy, this dude Teddy Fine, great guy from Philadelphia. And the promoter says, "You're the heel tonight because Teddy's one of our biggest baby faces. You have to be a bad guy."
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. It was phenomenal.
So you like being a bad guy?
I love being a bad guy wrestler.
JB.
So I came out there and I'm just as cocky
Which
as
is not your personality at all.
Well, here's the thing. The best wrestling characters are yourself, but with the volume turned way up.
Okay.
So the John Burton babyface wrestling character, it's an extension of what I'd like to be. I'd really like to be there for everybody and take pictures with all the kids and sign all the autographs. The bad guy, John Burton wrestler, I'm bitter, I'm angry, I'm like, I'm from New York, you people from Pittsburgh are all beneath me, you guys all stink. And I mean, I had that crowd hating me. I'll tell you a quick story. We did a show the week after the Pittsburgh Steelers lost to the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl, a game that I covered. So I come out and I grab the mic and I said, you remember that song by Wiz Khalifa, Black and Yellow?
No.
All right, it was a rap song called Black and Yellow, and the Steelers kind of adopted it because their colors are black and yellow, black and gold. And the Green Bay Packers are green and gold, but green and yellow. So I grab the mic and I go, "You know what it is, green and yellow, green and yellow. Just as I predicted, your Pittsburgh Steelers choked in the Super Bowl." They are booing me. And so I end up wrestling this kid, Strider, who was one of the biggest baby faces in the area, right? He was a great kid, ex-rugby player like myself. We're about the same size. And the crowd loved him. Like, they just loved it. He came out, people went nuts. He was what we call in the business over with the crowd. And they hated me. So I wrestled him in a match. And I went, not only do I win, I cheated to win. And I'm telling you, I thought they were going to jump the rails.
You had to get out there through the back door.
I cheated to beat him, and I'm just being cocky. I'm just bringing it. Come on, bring it. And people are like, little kids are like, being a bad guy wrestler is
so glad I got this story.
Much fun because you control the match as a bad guy. Because you don't, when you're a good guy, you have to do what's called taking the heat, right? The bad guy's got to beat on you for a while, then you make your comeback, and then however the match goes, it goes. When you're the bad guy, I can get you in the corner, I can hit you with a couple things, and I can go, egg on the crowd for a little bit, and I can go back to beating. I can do whatever I want. I'm in complete control of the match. And I love getting on the mic and talking. And
I am just envisioning this fundraiser we could do with JB back in the wrestling ring, being the bad guy. Oh, I've got big plans. I've got big plans.
So I find out that I'm coming to News Channel 5, right? And I think I told you this story before. Sandy, our news director, she types up the inter-office memo saying, "Hey, we're pleased to announce Jonathan Burton is coming to News Channel 5 to be our new sports guy." And she lists a couple things about me. He likes to do this and that, and he even spent time as a professional wrestler with an exclamation point. She loved it.
She loves it. She told me about it on my interview that our sports guy was a wrestler once.
She loved it, right? So Jennifer Reyes, who used to be a reporter here at News Channel 5, love her to death. We were hanging out one time, and she said, for the longest time, we thought that you were a professional wrestler that was giving the whole sportscasting thing a try. I said, no, that's not exactly how it went. But long story short, I know it's kind of a long-winded story, but I It was amazing. It was a bucket list thing for me, and a lot like rugby, I made some incredible friends that I still have today. And to see my friend, who I'm really tight with, I've had holiday dinners at his house, to see my friend Corey Graves become the star that he's become as a WWE announcer, because he was a wrestler, but he suffered too many concussions, and so WWE said, well, listen, we're shutting you down as a wrestler, but you have an opportunity to be an announcer, and now he's on national TV twice a week, every night. I couldn't be prouder for him. So
that's amazing. That was a great story. I even learned some lingo.
It was a little long-winded, but yeah.
That's okay. That's why we've got a whole hour here.
That's right.
All right, Lucy, I know you're on the line. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you right after this break.
We're coming back to you, Lucy.